Hey folks, Adam here, and people keep asking me, are Thailand and Cambodia at war? And that's a good question. So we're going to go through the details, talk about the tensions between the two countries, and we're going to check it out, and we're going to kick it off right about now. Now, first and foremost, there's been territorial disputes between the two countries, particularly along the border, for generations now, because they don't quite agree where the border is. This particularly has to do with the Preah Vihear Temple, the Preah Vihear Temple. Now, what does that mean? There's a very historic temple dating back a long period of time, and both countries seem to claim they own it. So it's really important in that particular region of Thailand and Cambodia, and everybody seems to think that they should have territorial possession of that. Ever heard of two countries disputing over a sacred land before? Well, it's not the first time it's happened. All right, so this is an old conflict, and it's a disputed historic Hindu temple on the border. And you'll notice me referencing my notes because I want to get this right. Now, in 2008 to 2011, there were several very bad clashes between the two countries. All right, and there's been a lot of media sensationalism and a lot of rhetoric between the two countries for a long period of time. There's also online misinformation and social media spreading fast between the two countries that is causing a lot of conflict between the countries. So a lot of people giving wrong information about what happened and what they think is going to happen, and that's caused a lot of conflict. Now, there's no official WAR, and there's no official invasion between the two countries. There's a border dispute and border patrol tensions, including potentially minor disputes, and nothing that would actually be two major armies going at it. Okay? Now, they're both countries of ASEAN, ASEAN, which promotes harmony between the region. So that's a positive. And there's strong economic and tourist ties. So in general, the sentiment of the two countries is they want to squash this dispute, figure out an amicable solution, and deal with this. Okay? Now, in May, there was a Cambodian soldier who was attacked and DIED in that region. And that really sparked issues. And the Thai people don't let the Cambodian people say their national anthem at the temple, which again causes even more issues there. Now, there's also issues between the two with the border. It's not just about the temple. Territorial disputes on the line, but there's illegal logging, poaching, and smuggling across the border. Anytime you have a border, there's going to be people saying, oh, there's less taxes over there. Oh, let's go take a few animals from their side of the border. And that's become a bigger and bigger issue over the years, particularly with social media escalating the issues. And there's migrant and labor issues going back and forth. But you have to remember, anytime there's a border, there's also a lot of people who have families on both sides. So there's a lot of people who want to solve this amicably. And this is a very interesting area of the world when it comes to US, Chinese, and international community. So everybody wants to get their say and wants to participate in a solution. Now, one of the things that we've seen here is that these border disputes date back to colonial days. When colonial settlers first drew up the map, they decided to move certain areas were Cambodian, particularly the temples, and certain areas were Thai. But the two countries have never fully agreed on where those borders lie. Isn't that an interesting fact that it's outsiders came in, drew a map, put it out to the world, and then they didn't agree with where the map lied. So this has been something that's been brewing for a long time. The ICJ ruled in the 1960s and reaffirmed it in 2013 about where the border lies, but there's still a lot of ambiguity in regards to the land. In May 2025, there was a fatal skirmish. High national rhetoric intensified political rivalries, and different well-known families really escalated the issue. All right, what triggered the event? Well, there was a landmine blast in July that injured Thai soldiers that led to mobilization on both sides. So you have to think, when there's a border and you don't want people crossing it, and there's some poaching, and there's some soldiers that keep going across one way or the other, well, suddenly you start to have some landmines get laid, different things happen, and when those landmines go off, it only escalates the situation. Both sides accuse the other of being hostile. Your landmine went off, so we launched some rockets. We launched some rockets, so you did this. Again, both countries in general are looking to settle the skirmish, and landmine issues did spark the controversy between the two. So, international actors at the Security Council of the UN, the US, have all called for immediate negotiations and humanitarian protection. Both countries' prime ministers have been working together to resolve the issue, and the US has stated that trade negotiations are very important, and that without a ceasefire and if violence continues, there will be a limitation to trade to both countries. So again, no official war, but an active and potentially escalating armed conflict between the two national militaries, air power and civilian harm. Now, when we look at the air power, Thailand has the advantage for air power, and they are kind of the economic advantage. But it's just something that we have to look at, we have to take care of, and it is of special interest to the world because there's a lot of travel, and you don't want to see anyone harmed. I will remind you that if anybody has said that there's a war, they've overinflated the situation. There is no declaration of war, there's no invasion, there's a high military intensity that includes airstrikes and artillery, there's a humanitarian impact, and there are ongoing diplomatic talks between the two countries. All right, folks, I hope that settles and answers your question. Thanks for watching. Adios, amigos.